So that mod finally worked, and the person who made it didn't
Were you
work.
really in that cage for 20 days?
It might have been closer to 30. I stopped counting after a while.
What did you do? I mean, 20 days is a long time to sit in one place and do nothing.
On good days, I posed riddles to the passers-by, offering them treasures in exchange for correct answers.
Really?
No.
Ah, too bad. That's got serious potential.
Oh, Sten. So yeah, it turns out the person who made the mod had a bit of a workaround. So it turns out you need to install before you get to Lothering, and I did not do that, but thankfully the person who made it did. Like, they gave you an item in your inventory so that it gives you the boots by just clicking on it. Oh, there's actually someone in the chantry I needed to go see. And I finally got some armor for Sten, so he's here now. Thought I got that. Ah, there he is.
Yes? What can I do for you? I knew this time would come. I should have listened to my sister. Sure, sign the paper, she said. You'll enjoy some coin now, but they'll be back. I guess I'll see you on the front lines.
Basically just some conscription orders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, leveled a baluster there. Okay. Yeah, Alistair's more of a DPS, whereas Sten's a tank. So, let's see. This'll do. Although, funnily enough, depending on how you build a mage, your mage can actually end up being a better tank than an actual tank. Than a character who's meant to be a tank. Dragon Age 2 balances this out a little bit better.
Don't you ever talk? You know, make polite conversation just to put people at ease?
You mean that I should remark upon the weather before I cut off a man's head?
Never mind.
Let's just check our quest log really quickly. Got that. So, need to do the rest, don't you? So yeah, just need to do a few more quests here in Lothering, and then we should be good to go. Lothering is actually where... Oh god, I hate fighters.
I never liked this part.
It will be done.
Yeah, I won't blame anybody if they want to just mute this part.
Is that all you've got?
Yes.
I really like hearing
It will be done.
video game force, like, give it death.
As you said.
And that would be the effect of walking bomb. They explode. Oh. So that must be the kid's mother from earlier. Probably should have held off on talking to the kid, but that's okay.
Now you die!
kid might have unique dialogue. Other
Flee while you can.
Come and get it. I'll try to be merciful.
Not in. I will
It is
not falter.
done.
got to turn the volume down, the master volume down for a minute. But yeah. Now I'm wondering if there's unique dialogue if you hold up on talking to the kid until you actually find his mother's body.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just. And the stars stood still, the winds did quiet, and all animals of earth and air held their breath. All was silent in prayer and thanks.
So that's the rest of the Chanter's board. So let's just see. Do I need to do anything else here? Well, I took the conscription notice to the guy here. And there's something else here to do. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done in Lothering. And there's nobody else we need to talk to.
Don't suppose you're looking to buy? All right.
Let's just unload some stuff here. Ooh, I kind of want to save that. Pardon me. Let's see if he's got anything, and doesn't look like it. Might as well buy these. Just because you never know. But yeah, take a good look at this place because it's gonna be gone soon. In fact, there's actually a mod here that this is where Hawk is from, and someone actually made a mod that puts Hawk in the town for the warden to meet. You know, there's a lot of really cool mods like that. Like lore related.
Very well.
Just to tighten into Dragon Age 2 a little bit better. Back in Dragon Age 2, it reveals that Hawk and Carver were at the Battle of Ostica.
Someone help us!
Oh, yes.
You enforced my hand! Die!
You should run while you can. You forced our hand.
Mighty timely arrival there, my friend. I'm much obliged. The name's Bodon Feddick, merchant and entrepreneur. This here is my son, Sandal. Say hello, my boy.
Hello.
Road's been mighty dangerous these days. Mind if I ask what brings you out here? Perhaps we're going the same way. Grey Wardens? My, that does rather explain a lot. No offense, but I suspect there's more excitement on your path than my boy and I can handle. Allow me to bid you farewell and good fortune, though.
Goodbye.
Now then, let's get this mess cleaned up, shall we?
Of course. Yes.
We'll be off as soon as this mess is cleaned up. Thank you kindly for all your assistance.
What's this now? A bit of an update on the bear. Codex. Something left in the circle tower. Very interesting. Okay, time to go. Time to go.
Bad dreams, huh? Drag more like, as in the tainted blood, remember? You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight. I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too. That's what I'm here for. To deliver unpleasant news and witty one-liners. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Yeah. The camp is where I kind of like talking to the party members, because it's got kind of a homey feel to it, and you got the nice little music here, and yeah. Couple of stuff here.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader? Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled. It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really. After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom, but Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch and he let them in. So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the King. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest state of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship. The King himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardland's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
he's pretty much describing some of the beginning of The Calling, which was one of the novels.
People say it's because the Wardens have become terribly unpopular. Just soaking up tires and not doing a bleeding thing for the kingdom. I say that's bollocks, as recent events have shown. Marek was a bit of a visionary. A powerful mind, that one. In his travels with the Wardens, he must have seen how important their cause was, and been moved by it. There was some talk at court that he did it to improve relations with Orzammar. That might have factored into it, but make no mistake, King Marek was a giant among men. Oh, his stomach's all aflutter. You're welcome. My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles. Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one, and our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride. Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the Blight. We're not ashamed of that. I ask for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour. Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour. Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new Wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance. Soldier's Peak has strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now. 1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Yeah. We'll do that later when we're a bit higher level, because that's quite an ordeal.
Ah, it's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Feddick, at your service, once again. I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place to rest for the evening than in the camp of a Grey Warden? I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes? Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago. I can see why you might be suspicious, being a Grey Warden and all. Were I in your shoes, I would feel the same way. Trust me when I say that my encountering you here was serendipity and nothing more. I travel a lot, so I'm bound to meet everyone on the road eventually. If you prefer, I'll take my boy and be on my way. But regretfully, you're the safest spot on this road, without a doubt. Wonderful. Thank the gentleman, won't you, boy?
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
What's a lot of
You
your
and your
stuff?
friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
So let's see. Let's get rid of this. Ooh, that's a good staff. Let's get rid of the chainmail. Whoa. Well, that's expensive. Oh yeah, we definitely want a backpack. Oh yeah. Well, Alistair teaches this too, I'm pretty sure, so... So we can just learn that from him. But we'll pick up the Ranger one later. And these tomes are to level up your character. So, yeah.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed. He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
Enchantment!
So, let's see. I guess that's the only one we can enchant. So, let's see. Spell resistance. Let's give it a lightning rune. Yeah, but the Warden one is actually pretty better than that. But let's talk to our party now.
What do you need? You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did. I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry. I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of. I don't know. I have no idea what the Grey Wardens do for their... when they fall in battle. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
Birch has probably lost more than a few friends in the circle to heroics or Templar violence, so yeah.
Yes, I imagine you really have, haven't you? Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little. I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Yes? Well, here I am. I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain. But I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in. I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith. In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything? That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Stands over here away from everybody
Why are we
else.
stopping? There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful? I am Kunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises. No. Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty. Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding. Couldn't you tell? You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight. As you wish.
And Morgan's all the way over here.
What do you wish of me? If you must. I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend. Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know? No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the Chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could, but as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one. I'm shocked that you think so, being a mage of the circle as you were. But perhaps you felt a little like a caged bird as well, caught within that dark tower. I thought so. There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary. They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask. The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess. Anyone with sufficient will, but the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. Indeed, you could learn the spells required if I cared to teach you. Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch? Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Oh, that's...
What do you wish of me?
One more little thing.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Thank you, teacher.
What do you wish of me? If you must. By others, do you mean yourself? Then I shall teach you what I can whenever we are in camp, provided you have the will to even make the attempt, that is.
Alright then. Well, that knocked some approval off. Unfortunately, I lost approval, so I only gained 6 total approval from Morgan there. But Morgan's a little weird in that, in order to learn the shapeshifting specialization, you have to have low approval with her, and she won't teach it to you once her approval gets high enough, whereas Alistair and Liliana will teach you their specializations when you've got their approval high enough. When they like you, they'll teach you what they know. But the good news is that once you have the specialization there, then, excuse me, that's unlocked forever, and even if you start a new game, then that specialization is still going to be there. You don't need to unlock it all over again, although, since I'm playing this on a new computer and it doesn't have any of the data that my old computer had, then I had to unlock this all over again. And getting the blood based specialization is a little skeevy. You have to do something kind of awful, but fortunately Awakening has a manual that you can unlock it without having to do anything bad. Same with but Alistair teaches you how to be a Templar, Liliana teaches you how to be a Bard, that kind of thing. So, let's see. But I believe that to get Spirit Healer, you have to go to Denerim and buy a book. And Arcane Warrior, you unlock during the quest to recruit the Dalish Elves, and then the Blood-based specialization you get in Redcliffe, but I'm probably going to get that, and I'm probably going to have to wait until the Awakening expansion pack to get that. But that's okay, because I'm probably going to get Blood Mage this game anyway, even though it is kind of a fun specialization. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until Birch can get any of his other 2 specialization before he gets one himself. But as Alistair's a Templar, and Liliana's a Bard, Morgan's a Shapeshifter, etc., etc. think we're gonna... Usually the order I do this stuff in is that I do the circle first, then I go to Redcliffe, and then the Daily Shelves, and then save the dwarves for last, because the part where you recruit the dwarves is really, really long, and kind of the enemies are really high there, so you'll want to put that out for last. And it looks like we got it. Oh yeah, and these are DLC. So, yeah. And I think that's good enough for now.